Only thing about this is one of those jobs that you think is going to take 20 minutes or so, and then it actually takes 2 to 3 hours. Raccoon. Sup? Hello folks, and welcome back to 802 Garage. Today I'm going to be fixing the starter bolt holes on my Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX transmission. If you watched the last video of me working on the Eclipse, you will know that the holes are kind of oddly oblong and don't really align the bolts very well, and I don't want the starter to be able to kick out of place. So I've actually bought some steel sleeves, which I'm going to be inserting into the old holes after I drill them out a bit, and I'll be using brand new Mitsubishi OEM bolts, of course. So you can see I had to get a little creative here. On top of my tool cart, I stacked a wheel and some wood I had laying around, and then I had to heft this beast up here, and that was not that much fun, but I have it at the right height. I've checked that everything is about as level as it's going to get, both drill press and transmission, and I should be ready to drill the holes and tap in the sleeves. Now obviously I'm going to try to give you the best seat I can for this action, and like I said, I have checked that everything is as level as possible. I used multiple points on the transmission and the drill press tower to confirm that, and it's as good as I'm going to get it. And I have tried to align this as well as possible, but everything does move a little bit. I'm going to start out with a 7/16 bit because I need to step all the way up to a 1/2 inch, and that is why I'm using the drill press instead of a hand drill, as no hand drill I have will go up to a 1/2 inch. Plus it's going to make nice straight holes, hopefully. So even though this one pretty much goes into the hole nice and clear, this will get out any burrs and make sure I have a clean path to start stepping up to larger drill bits. So here we go. And yes, I am scared because I don't want to screw up my GSX transmission. Alright. So I'm going to go up to a 15-30 seconds. Seems pretty well aligned to me. Definitely got a little wood there, but that's okay. Got a little wood there. And now that I got a little bit of wood, I did mean to use a tiny bit of lube as well. Don't need it on that one, but I'm going to step up to the 1/2 inch bit, which is where we either do this correctly or I ruined my transmission. But either way, at least we're having fun in the garage. So you can see this exactly matches the outer diameter of the sleeve, and so once this is tapped in, it should pretty much stay in place because it barely fits the bolt as is. That last drill bit definitely had a little more wobble than I would like, but you know, only so much I can do about that. I have no idea what the play in this drill press head is itself, and these are cheap Harbor Freight bits, but they're doing the job. Let's check that. Okay, I can definitely come forward a little bit. Seems fairly true. Alright, so hopefully that'll get it. Contact! So much for the lube I talked about. So now ideally, this sleeve, I will recheck the level when I do the next one, should just barely fit in there, which seems to be the case, so that's pretty good. I'll probably Nope, now it's stuck. I'll probably spread the collar just a little bit so it almost works like a locking pin, like for an axle or something like that. And I will clean out that hole, obviously. I'm not going to use anything to secure it in there like JB Weld or anything like that. I'm just going to let mechanical friction do the work. But I do need to actually cut this down to length because you'll notice that this the length of these holes is only to about there. And these sleeves are much longer than that. So what I'm going to do to solve that is I am going to put the bolt in the hole and mark it and cut one of these to length, and then I will tap it in. See how sloppy that is? It's nutso. This is not the most precision way to do this of all time, but I think it'll work out just fine. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be good. I can always clean it up a little bit once it's in the transmission, but I really want to avoid using a grinder with it already tapped in, so that's why I'm doing it out of the transmission. Now, if you're an OG to the channel, you will know I am kind of a safety first kind of guy, so safety glasses, earplugs, etc. Having said that, I know I wasn't using the shield on the angle grinder, but we can't all be perfect. Well, that's definitely not level, so... That looks much better, but now I gotta clean it up. I did find something slightly better to widen the gap in this pin before I drive it in, and that is a drill bit that's just slightly larger. I'll use the wood to protect the drill bit, and then just kind of... Now there is part of this that I didn't think through, which is how do I get it back off? I think I found a solution. It's just a little fiddly. Alright, I did get it out, so now I'm just going to clean this hole out a little bit more, make sure, and then I will tap this into place. Let me see if I can give you guys a quick look. So there it is. Looks nice and clean pretty much. A little bit of scratching in there. Nothing to worry about. Still plenty of material to keep the sleeve in place. Alright, and we'll see how this goes. Beautiful. Perfect. Spectacular. I'll show you more when it's actually off of the wood, but for now I'm going to move on to the other hole because, I mean, I'm satisfied with that repair. It's got much less slop, and I know that it's not going to be able to tilt more than just a little tiny bit, and it's now steel reinforced. Well, this stud turns out to be in the way of my drill press. I might be able to finagle it to get away with it, but I'm gonna see if I can remove this online. Alright, so at the risk of exploding my transmission, I am gonna try to take out this stud. I did look it up on the part number online. It's definitely removable, which I knew obviously because, well, it's a stud and it does have these hex fittings on it, but let's see what happens. I'm gonna try to take it easy. Well, need to air out my compressor, obviously. Alright, round two. Well, you know what? I have it on the lowest forward setting, not on reverse. I thought I had changed it to reverse right before filming the first time. It turned out I'd actually just turned it down. I'm really smart sometimes. It's moving! It's working! Beautiful. Didn't break anything. Nice. looks perfect. All right, I think I can carry on with my shenanigans. Luckily, I don't need to remove this upper stud, just barely clears. Alright, so check it out. Got both of the Mitsubishi OEM bolts here and both of the sleeves. Bam! So they still have a little bit of play, but like way less than they used to. And they definitely have like a stronger support area. I'll show you on the other side once I get this off that there's probably still some clearance around the sleeve on the other side, so this is great. Well, I was about to take this thing off, and then I remember there is something else I want to do. Somebody badly mangled this shifter fork, whatever you want to call it, and they cut off the kind of counterweight that's here, and they did a bad job and left it nice and sharp. So I want to kind of cut it off at these little spots right here and make it nice and even instead of this terrible sharp monstrosity that's there. So gonna do that. Oh yeah, and I also need to put that stud back in, so I'll do that real quick too. That was a much bigger pain in the butt than expected. Definitely needs a little cleanup, but much better than it was. I'm assuming that there's a pin that you can just take this little nub off, but I don't know if it's like a hammer pin or if it's like I don't know if it's like a roll pin that's in there, or if it's mechanically secured somehow. That doesn't seem to be budging. I'll clean it up for now. I'll do some research, and if it turns out it's removable, maybe I'll remove it sometime. Alright, looks good to me. I do wish I hadn't nicked this little rod here, but it's not going to affect anything because it's not on the round surface and it doesn't affect the cotter pin, so we're all good. Alright, time for the really fun part. Got him! So you can see this is what I ended up with. Bolts go through the holes, and you can see with this one in straight how much clearance there is around it because these holes were all ovaled out. Same with this one to an extent, but it's a lot better. And then you can see I do have to take just a little bit off of this one, which I'll do with the angle grinder, and then it should be ready to bolt up the starter. Beautiful. So you can see, I mean, I just barely kissed the case metal here, and it's definitely not, didn't hurt it at all. It's not going to affect the mating surface, and I just barely touched this one too. I'm going to deburr the inside real quick, and then I will mount the starter real fast. Alright, so I just threw the starter plate on, and it looks like everything, including the dowels, which is kind of the most important part, is going to line up just great with these new holes. So that's pretty awesome. And you can see that that does sit nice and flush against the transmission. No problem there. Alright, so once it's all in the car, that's what it's going to end up looking like. It lines up pretty well. So I would call that job well done. Only thing about this is one of those jobs that you think is going to take 20 minutes or so, and then it actually takes 2 to 3 hours. Raccoon. Sup? So yeah, as you saw at the beginning of the video, the raccoon was out here. He's leaving. Go! Shoot! No! What? Don't be so bold. Get the f*** out of here. Get out of here. Go, go! Yeah! Yeah, mule! Alright, anyway. Yeah, so, job well done. I think this car will start now, someday. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. If you got all the way to the end, let me know in the comments. Just tell me you made it to the end of the video, I guess. And if you're not subscribed, well, you watched my entire video. You should probably subscribe. If you are subscribed, thank you very much. Please hit the notification bell if you want to see more updates on my GSX and other project cars. And otherwise, just like the video, leave a comment. I like talking to y'all. Catch you soon on Eclipse Garage. Bye.